All right. Welcome back to the It Bees Like That podcast. As always, I'm your host, Chris. Today we're going to talk about, obviously, some cool BA stuff, as only we do. I do, we. Is it weird? Never mind. It's a we, because it's a collaborative, right? Because though I'm the one doing all the talking, we're talking together, right? You're participating just in a different way. In a previous episode, I have detailed or explained to you about how I'm prioritizing underdeveloped or weak point training, underdeveloped muscles in my physique or weak point training. And not even necessarily weak points or severely underdeveloped. I mean, just backing up and looking at my physique overall, things that I'd like to prioritize and accentuate more. Because one of the things among many that bodybuilding is all about is illusion, right? Masking deficiencies and, you know, what some of us may lack in genetics, we make up with hard work. And we can disguise a lot of these things with learning how to pose right for our physique and our build, getting the right color for stage, getting the right look and fullness for stage, and also muscular development, density, and proportion. For some athletes, bodybuilding athletes, you may want to accentuate different aspects of your physique to make up for or cover other aspects of your physique. So for someone like me, from the front, I have a wider waistline. From the side, my ab profile is really narrow, and I like that. And that's one of the reasons why I'll never do GH, because I don't want that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shell belly, and I can recognize it from a mile away. I would say there's no judgment, but there's judgment. I judge. But anyway, so from the front, the profile of my core is not like super wide. It's not abnormally wide, but it's wider. So one of the things that I need to highlight and prioritize is side delt development, pushing my top frame out more, my shoulder width out more, and then my upper lat development, pushing that out more. So you go from shoulders, upper lat, to waistline, right? Getting that taper. And then with I have good quad development, so developing even more my quad sweep from the front, I'll get that really nice X shape, which is what I want. Another example would be someone who has like a shorter neck. Well, you still want to train your upper back and your traps. You may not want to overdevelop these muscles, thus shortening your neck even more and making you look kind of stumpy that way, and like you've just set your head on top of your clavicle, and it just looks a little weird, right? Where your traps start at your ears and go out to your shoulder. I don't know. For me, that's not a very positive aesthetic, but you get the gist of what I'm talking about. So for you, let me back up and highlight something else. So just because, let's say, your biceps aren't as round and full as your delts from like a rear delt double bicep, or from a rear double biceps pose, you'll have this like really round, like it'll look like a circle from your rear delts, side delts, and your front delts. Posing correctly, you'll see this, and you can imagine just a big circle there. And then transitioning over to your biceps and triceps, you have that same kind of general circle shape, but if your biceps or triceps are underdeveloped compared to your delts, it's going to give it kind of a weird look, right? My personal preference for my physique would be to either have really closely matched in shape and size that bicep and tricep circumference to delt circumference, or even having your bicep and tricep circumference just a bit larger than your delt circumference. Now, having one or the other smaller doesn't necessarily mean that you've prioritized one over the other or trained one more than the other. It could mean, and it also doesn't mean that, or could or may not mean, it could go either way, that said muscle group is a hyper responder, because I have that. My legs definitely respond to stimulus better than most of my other body parts. I've always had pretty good arm development, and for a long time my arms were overdeveloped, really, really big compared to my shoulder circumference, and that was because I trained arms more. It wasn't because they were naturally bigger or because they were hyper responders to stimulus, but I just trained arms more, you know? So if you do have a muscle group that's a hyper responder, and you can get away with training it at 80 to 85% once a week and still get a good response in a growth context, then do that. I mean, you can even reduce that training for a muscle group that responds as well, especially for like biceps and triceps, where you're getting tricep activation from your pressing movements, like dumbbell or barbell presses for shoulders, or bench press, rowing for biceps, you know, lat pull downs. You're getting a lot of arm, bicep and tricep activation in all of these other movements. So for hyper responders or overdeveloped arms, you could even just not train arms for, you know, a determined amount of time until you feel like the comparative lagging body part comes up, or you have a chance to bring it up. Same thing with like unilateral development. If I've got, and this is typical for a lot of people, this is like asymmetrical shape or development. A lot of people will have like a smaller left quad sweep than the right, or a smaller right lat than the left, or, you know, however the case may go. And the same principle applies. Like my left arm or left quad is smaller than my right, not by a ton, but by enough that I would prioritize it. So my strategy there is I will start my unilateral movements, whatever they might be, if they're lunges or leg extensions or leg curls, on my left leg. Wherever it is that I fail on my left leg, I know I'm still going to have juice in the tank on my right leg because it's more developed and it's stronger, but I will cap those reps off wherever the left leg failed. Does that make sense? So thus giving the left leg that failure stimulus and the right leg equal stimulus, I guess, but giving the left adequate stimulus in time to catch up with the right. No, that's not to say that in cases like that, a person needs to only train unilateral movements, because compound movements like leg presses and squats and hack squats and all this other stuff, they're really great for overall development too. And you're still going to be able to move significantly more weight with both legs than you are with one. So I would say there's an increased benefit to doing all of these movements, right? But employing strategies to bring up lagging body parts. You get the point. Sorry, I'm trying to think of a way that I want to say this without coming across as a jerk. Because I want to be thoughtful and I want to be considerate and kind, because I'm convinced, I have to believe, I would be shocked to learn that people training this way don't actually believe wholeheartedly that they're doing the right thing for, you know, in furtherance of whatever goal. But what I see a lot of, and I won't pick on any population of people particularly or specifically, but if you're in the gym and you have this idea that like, I'm just going to go in, I'm going to spam Romanian deadlifts, or I'm going to spam split squats, dumbbell split squats, and lunges, and all these lower body movements, trying to bring up your glutes and your hamstrings, etc. If you're training your legs 4 days a week and you're at a deficit, I hope that sooner rather than later you come to a point where you realize, I'm inflamed a lot. I'm frustrated. I'm on the verge of becoming discouraged, and I'm starting to question my direction. I'd hope that in those moments you would have enough self-awareness and ability to just like set some of the larger feelings down, especially those that look more like a personal failing, and just look at it as just data and information, right? And it's good data because it's telling you a lot of valuable things. We just need to be prepared to listen and put into use what the messages and information that we're receiving. So as I said, if you've been training in that manner for, let's give it 4 months, 5 months, and you've not seen any progress, my guess would be that if you're training in that way, your goal is to build these areas up and not lose weight. So if you've not gained any weight, that's the other thing I should add too. Building muscle means gaining weight. It means gaining weight. So wrap your head around that, accept it, move on. It's just part of the deal. But anyway, if you don't notice that you've gained, 4 pounds, liberal estimate, but 3-4 pounds in that 5 months, just consider just going back to the drawing board and just evaluating some of the things that you're doing, making some adjustments and seeing where you might need to shore up some things, right? Because we talk about this all the time. There's not a certain formula that's going to work all year round. This stuff requires constant attention. You always need to go and revisit things, evaluate progress, track, record, make adjustments. And I think that's where a lot of people get tripped up, because they struggle for so long, and then someone gives them some really good guidance, and then they make progress, and they just wring that towel out till there's nothing left to squeeze out of it. And maybe it's, they're a little embarrassed and they don't want to ask for more help. But instead of trying new things and, reading and researching, they just stick to that formula. I don't know. Like I said, this stuff takes constant maneuvering and adjusting, and that, to me, I feel like that's part of the fun. It could get pretty dry and pretty boring if you just wake up, do 40 push-ups, 60 sit-ups, 100 air squats, and gain, that actually sounds kind of badass. Gain like 5 pounds a month, 5 pounds of muscle a month. That would be pretty sick. But I I still would want to go in and just like it's a bit of a puzzle and it's fun to strategize and very, very satisfying, especially after you gain some experience in the gym and with nutrition and training. It's really satisfying to make educated, I don't want to say guesses, but, guesses, make educated guesses about programming and taking chances on different approaches and having that work out and making progress. It feels really, really good. Really, really good. And after the first couple of times you might feel like, oh, that was just luck. The sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while. But after a few times, it stops going from luck, and you're going to have to start recognizing that it's skill and experience now. And, you can use that just to, propel yourself, or you can use your talents to enrich the lives of other people, which I like to try to do. It's one of the reasons why I do this podcast. But who knows? We'll see. Something. Oh man, sometimes I get ready to do these episodes, and I have things that I'd like to explore, ideas I'd like to explore, but like right before I start to say them, I'm like, maybe I should have like unpacked that idea a little bit and thought about an approach, but yeah, it is what it is. So, listen, I am no expert on other people's health and certainly no doctor, so I can't, for an individual, prescribe like a specific and tailored supplement and medication protocol. What I can say, and with conviction, and I watched a friend of mine leave the workout area. I won't say their name, but if you watch this, I know you noticed it this morning too. Listen, y'all. I know that garlic is good for you, and a lot of people, supplement garlic into their diet. Look, do that shit after you leave the gym, okay? Don't take that shit at 5 o'clock in the damn morning and come to the gym and just... Bro, that's uncalled for. Knock it off. Don't do that anymore. Man, it is so distracting because that is one of the most offensive and aggressive smells. If it's not in the kitchen, bro, like if I'm not walking into my house and smelling garlic bread, or like, into a restaurant you smell garlic, or they bring your food to the table and you smell the garlic butter or whatever. But I don't want to smell that shit at 5:30 in the morning while I'm trying to lift weights. Come on, buddy. Let's get it together. And have some freaking social awareness, man. Some spatial awareness. Right? Like if you walk into a room and within 3 minutes, and this happens consistently, people around you just cut out. Maybe you don't mind that. Maybe this is a strategy you use to get the equipment that you want to yourself. But I'm telling you right now, that stuff ain't cool, man. It stinks. You stink. Don't do it. Man. Take your garlic supplements. Take fish oil supplements. All that stuff. Take them. Dude, if you really have to, take it at night before you go to bed. Or something. Like right when you get home, so that by the time the next day comes around, we don't have to smell you. Come on, man. This is ridiculous. If I can smell the garlic coming out your pores from like 15, 20 feet away, that's a problem. That's a real problem. I'm here to tell you, I don't appreciate it. It's nasty. You smell bad. Cut it out. I'm serious. Listen, man. It's so bad. It can't just be me. I know it's not just me because my friend left the weight room They were in there working out, and I know they weren't done, but they cut out after the freaking garlic bandit came in. Shit's nasty. Cut it out. People don't like that. There's something else I was going to talk about today. I can't remember. I'm telling you, getting old is crazy. Must not have been that important. Oh, God, dude, see, listen. So I got a special treat for y'all this week. I'm gonna try to get it done today, but the latest Friday, and possibly might have to do even Saturday. But I got a special guest coming onto the podcast. It's gonna be my first podcast or video content at all. Period with a guest. So it's gonna be good. Uncharted territory. This is gonna be awesome though. I'm really excited, and yeah, it's gonna be cool. So I hope y'all enjoy it and look forward to it. I'm really excited about it and looking forward to it. But anyway, if you didn't do it on the way in, do it on the way out. That's an order. Think about hitting that like, subscribe, post notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the stuff we talk about and all the interviews that are coming soon. First one starting in a day or two here on the 8Bs Like That podcast. Peace, y'all. Take the garlic after the gym. Damn it.